Hello, RPS, and happy Wednesday. It's me, Miss Thompson, again from John Marshall High School. I'm an English instructional coach there, and I am excited to be here with you. This week, we have been taking a look at our organizational patterns, and today will be no different. So, as you see, today is Wednesday, and we are covering organizational patterns, okay? Just as a review for our objectives for the week, we are going to be identifying an author's organizational pattern using textual clues such as transitional words and phrases, apply knowledge of text features and organizational patterns to analyze selections, as well as identify cause and effect relationships. Today, we're going to be using a little bit more brain work, and we're going to be reviewing some of these text features that you guys, I'm sure, have already learned in your classes, okay? So today we have two learning targets. Today, I will identify an author's organizational pattern, including cause and effect relationships, using textual clues such as transitional words and phrases. So we're going to need to putting on our thinking caps for those transitional words. Then they will also apply knowledge of text features. I will also apply that, and organizational patterns to analyze selections in an article. Boo-yah, okay? As we get started, the passage that we're reading is called an African Heritage in Chicago. There's something with Chicago for this week. It's a very short passage, and I'm going to take you guys through how to work through these, okay? I thought I had the link to the actual passage, but you guys will be able to find that in some of the materials for this week. The passage, as well as the questions, all in one place, are going to be available to you, okay? So the passage again is at an African Heritage in Chicago. I'm going to read the first paragraph and talk about a few text features with you, and then I'd like for you guys to read quietly. I'm going to give you guys some quiet time to read through the rest of the passage. I'm going to read the entire first slide, and you're going to read the second and third to get into your mind and try to find those signal words. The first task and the first challenge for you is to figure out which organizational pattern is actually in here, okay? Fidelis Ume was born in Nigeria and lived there through his high school years. He grew up with strong family values of the traditions of the Igbos, a culture within Nigeria. One thing that we Nigerians, particularly the Igbos, have taught us from youth is the value of education. It is paramount, and the drive to succeed. My culture says that each person must work very hard, and that is essential to success, which is very important. And we have support from family that keeps us growing when things are difficult. Sometimes perseverance can make the difference between success and failure. I'm wondering if you guys can find some clues as to which organizational pattern is here in that first paragraph. He moved to the United States when he went to college. After he finished college, he stayed connected to his family in Nigeria. He returned to Nigeria at least once a year, but he made his home and career in this country. He became a business leader. Now, I know that you guys know a little bit of geography, and we know that Chicago is right here in the United States. Now, I just want to draw your attention to the bolded statement at the top. We know that that would be our title. So this is probably what the whole story is going to be about, an African heritage in Chicago. Then we've also got a bolded and underlined word in the passage. This might be a word that I'm going to have to figure out for my questions later. So that's going to help me. These indentations here are also telling me that we have paragraphs and we have things like quotation marks. So the quotation marks here are probably telling me that the words within those quotation marks are not the words of the author of this story, but of the actual person that was interviewed. So that would be Fidelis Ume, okay? So let's go on ahead to the next slide where you guys are gonna do some of that reading on your own. I'm gonna give you guys some complete silence because I know that reading with noise can sometimes be distracting, okay? All right, guys, I hope that you guys have figured out some other additional clues to figure out which text structure, which organizational pattern is in this story, okay? I hope you paid attention to the bolded and underlined word and some of those quotations. It has some very inspiring information in there as well. And here is the last two paragraphs. Okay, and just to help you guys out, I know that there's some words in here that you're like, how do I even say that? The name of the support group is called Enumbra, okay? Enumbra. So I said that I put the article in there, and I did. So you guys can absolutely click here, and it's going to open up for you as soon as my computer gets it together. You'll see the entire article already up. So if you wanted to print this at home and actually highlight or underline or circle your transitional words or phrases, you absolutely can, okay? And then you'll see the actual questions as we go down. I'm gonna go back and review some of these questions with you just so you guys understand and know what we're working on. And then I'll show you how you can check your answers, okay? So back to our full screen here. The first question, use the statements on the right to complete the flowchart about the story. Hint, you will not need every statement. Sorry about that. Okay, so we have stories we're told about Nigerian heritage to the youth to teach morals. After college, Ume returned to Nigeria. At least once a year, the Nigerian support group reaches over 10,000 members. Fidelis Ume was born in Nambia, Africa, and Ume learns the value of education. Now, don't forget that hint. You will not need every statement. There are some in there kind of to throw you off, okay? And number 6 is in here already provided for you. Ume founded a group to support Nigerians in Chicago. So it's your job to figure out which ones go where. You can scramble them, go back to the passage, put them actually in the boxes if you've printed it out, and then you're gonna select one. Question 2, you're gonna read that actual quote, and now we're gonna use those text features to figure out what paramount is. I would suggest using some context clues, okay? One thing that we Nigerians, particularly Igbos, have taught us from youth is the value of education. So what do you think paramount means, and what is it even talking about? I have a feeling it's talking about that education. So the question is, what is the meaning of the word paramount as it is used in this sentence? We have a few different options here. And then number 3 is asking about that main idea. Some of these questions, guys, are just meant to review some things that you guys have been doing all year long. So I am so confident that you guys will really get through and get these questions right. This is just some practice for you. I know we're not taking SOLs this year, but you still need these skills to be a successful and efficient reader, okay? For which audience was this passage most likely written? Okay, you gotta think about who they're talking about, who they're trying to reach. Number 5, what's the main purpose of that first paragraph? I probably suggest that you go back to paragraph 1 and reread the entire paragraph to kind of figure out what would be the main purpose of just that paragraph. Number 6, read the following quote from paragraph 4. And again, we're trying to figure out what that word adversity means, okay, using those context clues. Number 7 is this is where we're gonna put together with our booklet. minutes. Based on a selection, what would you infer the organizational pattern of this article to be? You've got to pick one. These are multiple choice, not extra answers, okay? And now, number 8, we're going to be talking about some facts and opinions. This is a nonfiction article, which means that it's got some facts from the story as well as some opinions. Like, Ms. Thompson is from Guyana, South America. That's a fact because I can prove it. I can find my birth certificate, things like that. Guyana is the best country in South America, though. That's an opinion. That's something that I believe. So you guys are going to either write your answers in the spaces. Which ones of these are facts and which ones of these are opinions? And if you're feeling fancy, you can click here to check your answers. If you're like, I don't know if I really did that right and I can't really figure these out, I just want to see how I did, you're going to be able to click that link and it's going to open up into a Google form, okay? This is RPS at Home and African Heritage in Chicago article responses. The same questions, except now you'll be able to click your answers, get a point for each correct answer. You guys, I am faking it. Please don't think that these are all the real answers. And for this last one, number 8, you have to make sure that you're going in and you are putting one answer in each row. So each statement will be either a fact or an opinion. So when you submit, by the way, guys, I know you can view your score. And I'm not sure I got a lot of things wrong, okay? I'm not gonna scroll down because I don't wanna give away the answers, but it will tell you immediately whether you got the answer correct or not. Oh, look, I got 3 of them. Okay, I was just guessing. All right, guys. Just to review, today we read an article and we practiced our organizational patterns. I want you guys to have a fantastic Wednesday. Have a good day. Bye-bye.